So, I assume that some of you who pre-ordered the iPhone 16 have finally received it, and same as each year, YouTube is flooded with test and comparison videos about this new iPhone. One of them is from the tech boss, Mr. Who's the Boss, who made 2 videos comparing the iPhone 16 Pro Max with the S24 Ultra, and spoiler alert, the iPhone 16 Pro Max won in terms of camera, and the S24 Ultra won in terms of battery. The review was actually pretty good and accurate, as always, except this time, it's not fair. And that's not only my opinion, but also of many. The fair comparison, however, should be between the 16 Pro Max and the S25 Ultra, and that's what you're going to see today. Let's start the comparison from the beginning, the release date. The iPhone 16 was announced on September 9th and released to the public on September 20th. The S25, on the other hand, will be announced on January 17th and released to the public by January 31st. And this point actually counts for both, because both Samsung and Apple are trying to stick to a specific schedule. iPhone at the beginning of September, and Samsung at the end of January from the following year, leaving 4 months between them, so we can explore each individually. But what about the pricing? The iPhone 16, as you know, starts from $799 for the standard, $899 for the Plus, $999 for the Pro, and $1199 for the Pro Max model. That, of course, if we didn't count the option of higher storage, trade-in or no, and the carrier you choose. The S25, however, will start at $859 for the standard model, $999 for the Plus, and $1299 for the Ultra. Again, that's without considering storage options, trade-ins, or carriers. So overall, the pricing is quite similar, with Samsung being slightly more expensive in terms of the Ultra price. But how will the S25 even look? The standard S25, unlike his best friend the 16, isn't making that massive change in terms of design this year, but for the Ultra, there is a small change. The S25 will upgrade from 6.2 to 6.3 inches in terms of screen size, while the S25 Plus will remain the same at 6.7 inches. The Ultra, however, will also upgrade to a 6.9-inch display, making it the same size with the 16 Pro Max. On the other hand, the S25 Ultra will surpass the 16 Pro Max with 1000 nits in terms of peak brightness, with the 16 Pro Max having only 2000 nits brightness, while the S25 having 3000. That's brighter than my future. The rounded edges and flat sides will be also introduced in the Ultra model, and that will make it more comfortable to hold in hands than the rounded one. Overall, in terms of design, both Samsung and Apple have reached their best forms, with the 16 Pro Max having an additional capture button, although not many are happy with it, being slightly lighter in weight and better in color projection. The S25 Ultra wins in brightness and the higher resolution, so I see it as a tie, and it's up to you to choose. But before you do, you need to consider the performance. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 8th Gen 4. That's the new S25 Ultra processor, which showed an impressive early benchmark in recent revelations. The chip was built by TSMC, same as the A18 in the iPhone 16, although if you will buy the S25 outside the US, you'll probably get the Exynos 2400 chip, and that's a pretty interesting question. Why Samsung use different chips based on geography? Well, US consumers expect top-tier performance, and if they don't get it from Samsung, they'll easily switch to the iPhone. Of course, there are many other reasons. The Snapdragon chips are generally more powerful and energy efficient compared to Exynos. When compared to the A18 Pro, the Snapdragon showed better results in multitasking, while the A18 was better in single ones. We can't also end the performance part without mentioning the GPU, aka phone graphics. The S25 Ultra will have the Adreno 8 series GPU, which is known for powerful graphics performance, faster rendering, and smoother gaming performance. The A18 Pro, on the other hand, also showed great results in terms of games graphics and smoothness. If you compared them face to face, you won't spot that big difference, but overall, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 takes this one. If we talked about performance, we can't forget AI and machine learning, and both devices are beasts in this area. The Apple Intelligence shows a very promising level this year, although it was a bit disappointing regarding its lateness and the restrictions on who can use it, while Samsung focused more of its AI on the camera parts, which we will see later. And although Samsung has Bixby as a voice assistant, many users, including me, still usually go with Google Assistant. We should give it a chance. So this one goes for Apple. Connectivity can be easily won by Qualcomm for their Fast Connect system, and for power efficiency, the A18 Pro wins. Yep, the Qualcomm is very powerful, but usually consume more power than the A18, and that's where it comes the need for a great battery. Remember when I told you at the start about Mr. Who's the Boss's battery test, where the S24 Ultra destroyed all iPhone 16 models? Well, there's another video, and this time from Lover of Tech, who streamed for a straight 8 hours and 9 minutes. His dedication is nuts. The test showed that the S24 Ultra was off only after 6 hours and 8 minutes, while the 16 Pro Max was off at 7:47 minutes. Well, that has some explanations. On paper, and since Samsung isn't making a big changes to the S25 Ultra battery from the S24, the battery size of the S24 and S25 Ultra is bigger and larger than the 16 Pro Max, which means they last longer. But in real-world usage, the S25's Snapdragon chip uses more energy to keep the higher refresh rates, power the larger display, and perform multiple tasks, unlike Apple, which controls both the software and the hardware, making it easier for them to optimize power management. So who lasts longer? Well, it depends on what you are using it for, but when it comes to charging, the S25 will win easily. With a 45-watt fast charging speed, with wire of course, you can charge it up to 100% in only 1 hour, while the 16 Pro Max with 27 watts supported charging take up to 1 hour and a half to reach full charge. If you are a fan of wireless charging, however, they both support only 15 watts. So they are similar, and if you add the overheating problem that comes with each iPhone, Samsung easily takes this one. Now, let's get to the controversy part. Actually, there is a great point I want to mention here, and you might not know it as a Samsung user, but if you're an iPhone user, you can't deny it. Did you know that finally iPhone 16 users can hit pause while recording videos? I mean, we can't lie. There is no excuse for Apple on this one. China built a whole skyscraper in just 19 days, while Apple in 12 years couldn't adopt an option that Samsung added first in the S3 back in 2012. Anyway, as we said, the S25 Ultra, same as his fellow 16 Pro Max, will keep the same camera design, with a 200 megapixel wide camera, same as the S24 Ultra, but with an improved sensor that performs better in low light environments. The Snapdragon chip will also improve the image processing, giving them more details and natural look. The upgrade will also increase the video capabilities, like taking 8K videos at 60 frames rather than the 30 limit in the S24 Ultra. We can't also forget the editing features that are powered by Galaxy AI. The generative fill feature that makes an amazing job with photos will be also improved. While this feature still lacks for now in the iPhone 16 Pro Max, we still need to wait for the Apple Intelligence to arrive. The faster autofocus and improved selfie camera will be also improved with this release, and I'll make a more detailed video about it later. Overall, the S25 Ultra will dominate the zoom capabilities, the higher resolution, and the AI features, while the 16 Pro Max is more consistent, balanced, and more optimized for social media uploading. And that's more of an Android problem than Samsung. So, what team are you on? And before you choose, you might consider watching this video too. Subscribe and like. Thanks for watching.